Are we there yet?
No!
Are we there yet?
No!
Are we there yet?
No!
Are we there yet?
Yes!
Dad, I'm hungry.
G'day humans, Chris Stead here. I'm on the road. Today, I'm at Roar and Snore at Taronga Zoo. Let's go take a look. So here we are outside the famous Taronga Zoo in Sydney, one of our favourite places to go with the kids. But we're here for Roar and Snore, which is a little bit different to usual. Now, Roar and Snore is described as the best sleepover in Sydney, and I have to agree. Now, we're here for a Transformers event. So you can see here the Transformers out the front. That's actually life-size, to scale. So Transformers put on this little Roar and Snore event, and I thought I'd actually do a review of Roar and Snore itself at Taronga Zoo. I had done it once before, but it's definitely improved over the last couple of years, and it was already good to start with. Now, Roar and Snore is reasonably pricey, I would say. You can expect to pay for a family of 4, around $250 to $350 each for the experience, depending on which day you go. Like Sundays are cheaper, for example. Now, as you can see, you arrive just around sunset. You get to walk through the zoo. There's a good 45 minutes or so as you first get there, just walking around, seeing the koalas. You're with rangers the entire time, seeing rangers and koalas, snakes, lizards, peacocks, giraffes, meerkats, all those kind of things as you walk through, getting a bit of an experience of the zoo. And it's pretty awesome just kind of being there in this one little group. Like, you feel like you have it to yourself. It's definitely part of the appeal. And you're going to get this one-on-one interaction with the trainers and the keepers as they kind of talk you through everything and see how beautiful it is. I'm going to talk about the view a lot in this. It's just so spectacular. I think it's probably the best view in Sydney. This giraffe gets to look at it all the time. So as you can see, the sun's starting to set and you're just kind of walking around. Now here we are, we've just gotten to the actual venue. So I'll just walk you through this a little bit. So I don't know how many was in our group. Each tent can hold a maximum of 4. There's no tents that hold 5, which is a bit of a bummer for us, being a family of 5. So my wife was unable to come on this one, or at least she was more than happy to have a night without the kids at home. So you kind of arrive with all these people. It's just the sun's just setting. You'll see in a sec just how spectacular the view is. And I didn't want to brighten this because I want to kind of show you what the atmosphere is like. You can imagine for the kids just how cool this is. It's a very exposed area, so you've got to be very lucky with the weather. We were very lucky with the weather this night, and it definitely made a difference. It wasn't too hot, it definitely wasn't too cold, and it didn't rain. So I will walk you through this campsite a bit more in a second. But it's kind of a glamping experience. So they are tents, they are canvas, but as you can see, they're permanently fixed. They've done a great job of kind of like setting a mood and atmosphere to lighting. You might see some Transformers posters and stuff around, because like I said, Transformers was hosting this event for the Rise of the Beast movie, which was just about to come out, and this is Easter. And Transformers is, if you've seen this in Easter 2023, in that April month, you'll see that this Transformers is going through that month. Now in the center of all the tents, there is this kind of hub area. Some seats, some tables. This is open all night if you need to come get water or a drink or whatever. And as you arrive, there's some canapes and some drinks, alcoholic and otherwise, for you to enjoy. And as you can see, look at that view. So good. It is just amazing. You take so many photos. If you're into photography, you'll spend half an hour just out there trying to take photos. So, lovely little setup here. They've got a couple of staff looking after you on top of the rangers, who are also just excellent. They're such good human beings. So friendly and down to earth and easy to chat to, and so knowledgeable. And through this entire experience, you get to spend a lot of time with them, just learning more. So you can see here some of the tent setups. There's 3 in that tent, so a queen and a single. You can also add to that with a roller bed to make the 4. It's pretty cramped inside. Once there's 4 beds in there. If it's just the 2 beds, it's fine. But with the 4th one, definitely makes it a bit hard to walk around and move about. But who cares? Like, honestly, who cares? And this is where we were staying. We're number 8, so that was pretty good. We got a front row seat with the view. And I could have slept with that fly screen done up just the fly screen, and looked out at the view all night. So I think they've done a really good job with the setup. The beds are pretty rustic. I wouldn't definitely not say they're comfortable, and the pillows weren't great either. If you're expecting a luxury experience, don't feel like you will get that, because it's not. It's glamping, close to camping, and closer to camping than glamping, I'd say. And but lying there at night and listening to the animals in the distance and the elephants and so forth is pretty awesome. Here's the toilet block, so you can have a bit of a look there and see what to expect. They've, again, well done, nicely made. Large showers, toilets, and plenty of them. I think there is a bit of a rush hour, like kind of when you get back from dinner, where you might need to queue for a little bit, but in this particular trip I didn't have to queue once. I just walked in, had a shower, and everything was fine. So that's pretty good, I think. So after you kind of relaxed and had a bit of canapes and so forth, you start to walk around the zoo itself. And you can see us walking here. I thought about brightening this, and I thought, no, this is the kind of atmosphere.
Okay, cool.
There's only two.
Yeah.
What is that?
Two. That's right. We have two females, Packboon and Tango.
Is there any more?
No, we got only two in this herd. The others have gone to Western Plains Zoo Double.
So yeah, you walked from enclosure to enclosure, kind of learning a bit more, kind of getting this one-on-one experience of the rangers. You can ask questions, of course. My kids asked a lot of questions. And you can also kind of see these animals in an environment where you wouldn't normally see them if you went to the zoo. And it's pretty awesome. You know, it's something you don't otherwise get to do. So on top of the view and all that experience, just being able to walk in this environment with the children was really quite special, and seeing these magnificent animals. And I don't know how many animals we end up seeing. Well over a dozen, close to 2 dozen. So here's dinner. So on the end of that kind of first walk, you get to dinner. So I thought I'd just show you what to expect here. Really interesting food choice. Definitely not what you would normally expect from, I guess, a hotel or something like that. They were kind of themed on regions of the world and a little bit exotic and different to what I'd normally eaten, but delicious. So you can see an idea of what you can expect there. You'll also get a bit of an idea for the kind of crowd you can expect, assuming it's a sellout on a night you're there. And it's more than manageable and more than reasonable, and you get to meet and talk to a lot of them and get to know more about them. It was my feed. I was well fed after that. And the kids had already got tucked right into it. So they keep bringing out food as long as you're still hungry. So it's not like there's a capped amount. So that was pretty good, but I probably knocked back 3 or 4 beers as well over the course of the night. I had a really big day actually, so it was really nice. There's no pressure in any regard there. You don't get ready access to alcohol. It's not like you can just grab alcohol whenever you want, or drinks for the kids for that matter. But when you're in that kind of hub at the start, and when you're here at dinner, it is available should you want some. Now on the way back out, you can go on another hour long or so excursion deeper into the zoo and see more stuff. Here is a camel if you can't make that out in the red light. And as you go from one to the other, you do get to hear a bit more about the animals from their awesome zookeepers.
So we'll just have a quick little look as we walk past. This is a binturong. And if you've never heard of a binturong, don't worry, it's quite an unusual animal. It's sometimes called a bear cat, but it's not a bear and it's not a cat. It's a binturong. She's 10 years old. She's the smallest species of bear, being a sun bear. Sometimes you might hear them being called a moon bear, and they're found in Southeast Asia.
When morning rises, that's what you wake up to, isn't it? Isn't it amazing? And there's an opportunity to get yourself a coffee. This is an early start. They did actually say we've got the earliest checkout of all of Sydney, and that's true. I think it was about 7 o'clock we had to be packed up and ready to go. Coffees all around, bit of banana bread, a little bit of a kickstart. As I'll show you in a bit, you do get a full breakfast as well. But this is just kind of to power you to get going. You start walking back through the zoo, and this is before you get to the encounters, the animal encounters. This is really, I guess, pretty awesome. So see the chimps, of course, on the way past. You can't help it, they're so loud. You know, I believe they're different each time. As you can see here, we're walking into the giraffe enclosure.
The giraffe is going to do 90% of the work for you, okay? They have a prehensile tongue, which is going to come out, wrap around that food, take it in, and swallow it pretty quickly, okay? So, all you need to do... And
how good is this? I'm just so stoked I got to do this for my kids. Look at the joy on their faces.
just like this, okay? One at a time. I'll feed the other two, but you've got to come nice and close here so she's not sticking her head through, okay? That's it, good job.
It looks like the camel when it's
So I believe that the types of encounters you can have are different. It's not always the same, and so I was a bit worried about what I should show in this video because I didn't want to. I have done this before. I mean, to get the giraffes, I think the giraffes are pretty standard. However, then we also got to do, as you'll see in a second, a seal behind the scenes, which was amazing. But I don't think everyone got that. So I think it's different depending on where the animal is at. Now here's brekkie. They call it continental breakfast. I think that's underselling it. It was a bit better than continental in my opinion. Muffins, croissants, sausages. That's a bacon and egg frittata. So really yummy feed again in the morning. And a great way to start today. By the time we'd done this, we'd already gone and seen a whole bunch of animals. And this kind of filled us back up before we went to, our last encounter. We got to see the gorillas, and they got a feed. This is before the zoo's even open, right? So you're just walking around, just your group, just exploring this on your own, having this one-on-one time with the keepers. And there were various keepers that turned up. I was really impressed by how many staff turned up at, what wasn't the greatest of times for them, you'd think. And here was the seal encounter, and hopefully you get a chance to do this as part of your one. But this was unreal. I wasn't expecting this. It was just like how close and personal it all got. Again, a great deal of information, and just a really great experience. So, like I said, Roar and Snore, it's not the cheapest of ways to spend a night in Sydney. But in terms of what you get, I'm well into my 40s, and I've never got this experience with a seal before. And I'm just so stoked that my kids were able to do this. And I think when you look at it through that lens, the Roar and Snore really is a very, very special experience you can have in Sydney. When you also add into the fact that after this, you're free to explore the zoo for as long as you want. You also get free parking about that. For a family of 4, there's about $140 worth of value in there. 10% off anything else you buy in the venue, food, that kind of thing. You also get that spectacular view of Sydney to wake up to and enjoy as well. So I would highly recommend Roar and Snore. It really was a fantastic experience for me and the kids, and you should definitely do it.